is this sutra? Literal translation of 13th step is take shelter in the master. Shelter, if I literally translate. And let us see how these 12 steps merge into the 13th step. And actual journey starts from the 16th step. First 15 steps prepares me for I don't know, let me know it. I have been repeating it again and again. But just for the sake of understanding, and many people, oh, yes, yes. What do you mean? I don't know, let me know the principle. I know the principle. Real self is one and all, it is pervading everywhere, but I'm in stress. Come on, you are in stress, you are real self. Why don't you see that? So you have not heard it clearly. You have not heard it. No, everything is okay, but one guy was saying to me that everything is okay. But after all, in business, I have to do lot of manipulation. So where the real self gone? What you have heard? What you have heard? Means what? There are lot of blockages that enters into my mind because of heavy conditioning from the society, from the culture, from my habit, from my attitude. One person was saying everything is okay, but what to do about fear? Who has a fear? Real self does not have a fear. So you see, there are a lot of challenges that enters into the mind. So we are not listening and learning with clarity. So these first 15 steps. Do you know where the coffee machine is lying? It is lying in the kitchen. It is not in the restroom. So the first 15 step tells you you have to search the real self where it is. Don't start looking somewhere else. So every 15 step helps you to get that clear idea. Clear idea. No, no, I'm feeling sleepy, so I'm sleeping in the restroom. TV is on. And I was looking at the horror movie, and after that, I was sleeping. No, this will not make the journey clear. So, actual journey, or you can say the journey starts from the first step because I'm preparing myself. So, first 15 steps makes you a foolproof that now you are a perfect seeker. Mind is not going here and there, and now the journey is bound to succeed. That is from where you learn now from the teacher. So you are listening and learning from the teacher. First step, Shravanam, Mananam. Mananam means then you contemplate and reflect. Now you will start asking big questions. If you have not learned the 15 steps, then the small questions. I have lot of stress. Okay, close your eyes, do breathing and mantra, and now your stress is gone. You're happy? Okay, fine. Continue. But how many times you had the stress? How many times you have removed that stress? Do you want to go beyond the stress? No, I don't understand. So I don't understand. Do the first 15 steps. I don't say to other people, but yes, then I say, okay, those who are serious seekers, then I say, understand these things. Understand these things. So we will understand in light of that, am I ready? Am I a seeker? Am I fully prepared? Am I fully prepared? You see, in the field, and especially the coach of those athletes, they say, be ready. The master prepares that, then the referee blows the whistle, and then they start running. So, referee means now you are independent of the teacher, but still you are getting a close association with the teacher. So, when the 13th step says that take shelter of a teacher, what it actually means. So now you have started understanding that. That makes you clear. Who wants to earn money? Who do not wants to earn money? Who does not have a sexual pleasure and the recognition? So if you have a clear idea about wealth, sex, recognition, which I normally say sex, authority, and money, SAM, Sam, Uncle Sam. So I know them all. I feel they are important in my life. I gather the knowledge about it. Then I find where to start. I attain it. That is what we are saying. Real self. You want to know real self? Start preparing in the first 15 steps. How easy it is. How it is. Why we talk of commitment, sincerity, and devotion in life? Devotion to the teacher. You see that now. Take shelter means commitment, sincerity, and devotion. So, if there is a commitment to earn the wealth, I can get it. See that? I can get it. No issue. No issue. I can get it. So, I should understand that commitment, sincerity, and devotion is there. In any journey, we read the books, we get a teacher, and here we say, who knows? So, what is the sincerity? Is the intense aspiration. So, teacher helps you to keep that desire for freedom burning. Otherwise, what happens? The ego comes and washes out everything. Commitment is required to keep that burning desire, and the devotion means the mind is absorbed in that thought and idea that what I'm seeking. What about the journey of the self discovery? Who keeps sincerity, commitment, and devotion alive? It is someone who knows it, who have successfully treated the path, who knows the challenges on the path. And if we label that guy as a teacher, what is the problem? So there is problem because for every path, profession, I have a teacher directly or indirectly, but I do not want a teacher on this path because I know everything. That does not work. The first 15 steps are for that. Now this step says shelter. Take shelter in the master. Shelter to protect the mind from impurity, from ego, and from distraction. So simple. So, when you are listening and learning and practicing, the teacher perceives where is the problem in the seeker. And he says, okay, let us do this practice. Let us understand this. Let us. So, he attacks our impurity, ego, and distraction in a very subtle way. So, shelter means the security is created around our mind to safely treat the path. Shelter means that home is a shelter. It prevents us from cold and heat. So take shelter in the master. So master in the Eastern. Now see that who is the master in the real self? Who is the master in the self-discovery, in the Eastern wisdom? It is your real self. You don't know. So teacher is representing that real self. So that idea That feeling, that awareness is realized in the first 15 steps. That becomes so strong in your head, mind, and the intellect. Then, whatever you listen from the teacher, you say it is my real self. You have that feeling. So, then what happens? Then, meditation becomes or listening also. Listening becomes the meditation. You are listening to the principle. What is that? Where is your right hand? Do you know it? Yes. It is a direct experience. So now, while listening to the teacher in the 15th step, 16th step, oh, when the teacher says something, you actually experience that. The way you experience the right hand. Provided first 15 steps are done correctly. Done correctly. Do you see that? That is why the Shankaracharya says that first 15 steps I should be foolproof. I know, I understand. And when you understand, you are almost there. You are almost there. See other point of understanding. Then we will take up this. Real self is within me. Okay. So that is the goal. The real self is in the form of a teacher outside me. That is also here. Right? Then what our mind says, what our ego say. Where is the real self? Within me. Who is representing the real self? The teacher. Then what our ego say, let us go to the Himalayas to find a master. What? It is here within you. But let us go and find out the teacher in the Himalayas. So, what is the problem here? We claim that we have understood, but we have not understood. Who is creating the problem? The ego. The ego is always outside, it cannot be within. If the ego is outside, then it says, okay, let me search in this way, let me do it in this way. Ego creates a veil. Master says, take a shelter in a master. Take a shelter in a master is the 13th step. Now link these, take a shelter in this master, the third step, uh, the 13th step, with reference to the previous 12 steps. But before that, we should understand one thing more. Let me go a little deeper. I know you. How? Consciousness. Where is consciousness? Real self. Okay. So I know you means I know myself and I also know you. What it means? I reveal myself as a body, mind, intellect, and ego. Same way, I reveal you also. It is the same consciousness. Huh? There is not two consciousness. One consciousness says, here, this is body, mind, intellect, and ego, known as this guy. And there is with another body, mind, and intellect. So my consciousness, my awareness is the same. My awareness is the same. So means what? Pay attention. What is that? My awareness is the same. Consciousness is the same. Real self, if I say, so the very seer is the goal. That is what the real self is. Got it. And who is the seeker? The seeker is one who knows how to seek the real self. And the seeking is present in the seeker instead of ego. So ego takes us far away from the seeker, seeking in the seer. So, Master says, take shelter in a master. Take shelter in a master. So now understand it clearly. Seeker, seer, seeking, and master. Seeker, seeker, seeker is this intellect and the mind who still lives in ignorance. What it is seeking? Real self. Where the real self is located? Here and now, within deep inside my heart, behind the clear. Seeker, seeking, seer, and the teacher. Now that seeker does not know the real self. So teacher comes, teacher says, here is the real self, here it is not. So what he is working on, he is working on your mind. See that? That is what the first step is. The first step says you have a wrong notion that who you are, our real self, is lying located within you. It is not in heaven. That is pure belief. That is pure belief. We cannot validate if there is a heaven or not. So, which we cannot validate, which I cannot experience, drop that. There is no reason why should you follow that. So, he's making us a seeker. So that is why in the first step, what we said, why to study Eastern wisdom daily and to continue to acquire knowledge of the self and the non-self. Now see that those people who live their life, they claim what they are with reference to the wealth, sex, authority. Oh, is there a real self? What you are talking? This is real self. Money, body, mind, sex, pleasure, everything. This is my real self. So, unless the teacher comes and he says, no, this is not you, so without it, you cannot know it. And even if you know it, you cannot treat the path because there is a lack of understanding. Why? My false self is always there with me for so many years. Oh, are you saying that I can transcend my pain and pleasure? I transcend by drinking a glass of wine. That's the vodka. All my, Japanese research says that you can completely get out of the stress if you go for sex every day. Come on. What a crazy research study. They have done it 5 or 6 years ago. That's, you see that? The teacher has to make you aware not only by its principles, by arguments, by logical reasoning, by your experience that you are undergoing in your daily life. So, the first step, I should know clearly what I am searching. I am searching the real self. I am not searching the false self. With a wrong notion, I have created an idea that this is my real self, includes body, mind, body, mind, intellect, thoughts, wealth, sex, and everything outside. Even then, I know, in the during the last almost 50 years, people have started saying the wealth cannot buy happiness. We simply say it. Question is, who will buy the happiness, permanent happiness? We don't think about it. We make a statement and then again we fall back into the same stuff, same stress, same anxiety. So now see, we fall back into the same anxiety. So the master says, take shelter. 13th step covers all the first 12 steps. Think of it. So now the teacher says, second step, nitya and the naimitya karma. You have understood it clearly. You wake up in the morning, your agenda. Honey has called you to bring this stuff. You have the resources, no argument. You bring that stuff. Dear honey, take this. Nitya Karma. I am happy and free from the ego. How simple is that? No. Why you want this? You always demand something. Why the hell you get married? Why? Same thing with the business, professional life. I have a boss means I have some duty to perform. Why should I blame you are crazy, you don't understand? Backbiting. So what I'm doing, I'm easing the burden that is that I have accumulated in my head. That is what the Nitya Karma and Naimitya Karma is there. Every time Nitya Karma and Naimitya Karma. The moment you interact with the people, check out what is Nitya Karma and Naimitya Karma. Do it and you are free. You see that? So again, take shelter and the master comes here. How will you know it? How will you know it? Sometimes the crazy students say that you are also doing the same thing as I am doing. What's the difference? Difference is inside. Everything is inside. After awakening, you cannot have 3 ears or 5 eyes. That is not the journey. So we have to get rid of the wrong notion. See that? We have to get rid of the wrong notion. So you see that? Get rid of. So second step, how to perform Nitya and the Naimitya karma. So including that, what is prohibited karma? I am aware. I should not do it. But by some mistake, even if I do something wrong, let me repent on that. There is a prayashchitta karma. Prayashchitta karma means I should confess to myself that this was the action performed by the ego. Let me change it. Let me promise to myself that I will not bow down to my egoistic life now. That is what people will say. Now, see that the third is how to offer all the works to the existence. So now the mind has started going deeper. Remember the three seeker, four words. Seeker, who is seeker? Who is seeking the real self? So goal is real self. Where is the goal? Within me. What I am seeking. So the process of seeking is sadhana. So who is telling me? The teacher. So now the third step, take shelter. So just keep in mind, take shelter to the master. How to perform? Oh, no. Third step is I am a seeker. I am becoming a seeker. But after all, who is the doer and the enjoyer in me? Now the master guides us that the body cannot be the doer. The eyes cannot be the doer, the mind cannot be the doer, the intellect cannot be the doer. And there is a false sense of the doership, which we say ego. I have done you, I'm speaking. Really? So I'm speaking means I'm a speaker. Very good. I'm a speaker. So are the lips speaker? No. Is the tongue speaker? No. Is the mind speaker? No. Is the body speaker? No. Then who is the speaker? Who is the speaker? Who is the speaker? Who is the doer? Who is the enjoyer? So, what happens when you start thinking like this, reflecting on this, you find there is no doer and the enjoyer in you. But it is a bit scary. We don't have any dependence, so we say we offer all our doership and the enjoyership to the existence. Whether you say it is existence or you may create, you have an imaginary ego that is destroying you. Let us have an imaginary God, surrender to it. Krishna, I surrender to you. Buddha, I surrender to you. Teacher who is very close, I surrender to you. Why? Why? To clean my mind. Why? Because I am a seeker. Why? Because I am seeking the real self. Done. Now see what the master says in the 13th step. 13, take shelter in the master. So after the third step, still we find there are binding desire and there is unbinding desire. So what the binding desire does, I don't know why I became angry and anxious. Why I became angry and anxious on a day-to-day life. Oh, it is because of the binding desire. So I don't blame others. I said, oh, why the hell mind you became agitated and angry? Why you are stressed? So stress is completely gone in the fourth step. Stress is gone. Now I'm calm and relaxed. I start experiencing the changes. I see that calmness. So when I see that calmness and a poise in my day-to-day life, in my personal, professional, and life, so now I understand, oh, it is the binding desire that is causing the problem. I go to a person and I have some desire to get fulfilled by that person. He is not fulfilling. No, I'm at ease. I know how to do it. It's not binding desire, it's unbinding. I have to get the things done. I have to do it. So my mind is creative, intellect is clear, it finds the ways to do it. So now see that. Now, another problem of our egoistic life is what we say the sins or likes and dislikes, strong likes and dislikes. They bind us, they build up a ego. I have tried 10 times and I failed. It is because of your karma in the previous life. But it does not mean that you should not do the hard work. Continue doing the hard work, but accept the result because the very result is not in your hand. Why the result is not in your hand? Because the very action is defective. So you see the many issues are there. What are the issues? First, strong likes and dislikes, favorable and unfavorable circumstances they come to my life. Who knows that I will be born in India and I will land up here? I don't know. So it is because of my past karma. Maybe current karma and the past karma. So am I grateful to the existence who brought me into this life? Am I thankful? Then I see that I have a freedom to act or freedom not to act. But don't have a freedom to choose my parents, choose my shape, size, color of the body. See that. Similarly, we cannot choose success in our life by every action. Action is defective. So if I build my ego all around my action, the ego will bind you. So we have to understand. So ego take shelter in the take shelter in the master. So how to remove the streams of likes and dislikes, sins and the virtues, and how to accept the result of profit and loss, victory and defeat, pain and pleasure in my day to day life. Acceptance does not mean that I'm suppressing anything. Acceptance means I'm cleaning everything. Huh? Why? The ego says, I want success all the time. So again, we are melting and dissolving that ego. That is what our fifth step is. Sixth step, Now comes the greatest challenge: pleasure. Pleasure. Pleasure always travels, it changes its home. First home, when we were born, it was our mother's breast. Pleasure made the home when I was a born baby because I was sucking the milk and I was enjoying. Then the toys, pleasure traveled from the huh, breast to the toys. Then it traveled from toys to the books, from the books to the career in the job, then to the money, then to marriage with the sexual pleasure, then to the kids. That's a normal trend of the pleasure always travels. What I'm searching? I am searching permanent happiness. So it is like that. I am searching the sun in the sunlight. I am not exactly searching the sun. So it is only the master, with the help of the argument, with the valid reasoning, so that you can really experience. Am I experiencing pleasure? Yes. Short lived. The master says all pleasures are short lived. Otherwise, what happens in our life? Pleasure, pain, sorrow, happiness today. Next day, pleasure, pain, sorrow, happiness. Then weeks and weeks, years and years, months and months. And we don't even think of it. We don't even think of it. Now, when I think that the pleasure travels, it changes its home, it is short lived, and the pleasure is not present in the object and the person outside. Now, my near one died. What should I do? How the mind will respond? Mind will not be anxious. It will not enter into the grief. It will not enter into grief. Why it should enter into the grief? Because of ego. Why it does not enter into the grief? Now it is maintaining the poise. Pleasure travels. That is one way. Pleasure always travels. It has to travel. Where pleasure is not there, mind has forced the pleasure to be there. If the pleasure is there in drinking a cup of coffee, then everyone will drink. See, simple. If it is in the sex, then let everyone go to the sex whenever they have a stress. So that understanding, it is not morality, it is not ethical, it is had nothing to do with religion. What? Why? Why? We Because we want to experience the real self the way I experience my right hand. That is what the realization is. It is not in the heaven. Heaven I cannot experience. I simply imagine. So, because how do I experience right hand? I can give you a valid reason. Huh? By on the right side, there is a limb, the hands, and now I can experience the right hand. So I can give a valid reason. How can I give a valid reason? Because I have a means of knowledge. What is that means of knowledge? My eyes. My eyes sees that. Huh? And I have a sense of touch. So I have a sensation. So mind experiences that. Experience is taking place in the mind. It's a valid reason. So, what is the Eastern wisdom? It is also a means of knowledge so that I can experience the real self the way I experience the right. Take it that way. See that. It is not in the heaven, it is not in the hell, it is not in imagination. No. No, it is not in imagination. I cannot say my right hand is in imagination. Fact. As far as the sense organs are concerned, if I link the sense organ, now see that as long as my eyes are open, this right hand is visible. Oh, as long as I'm not in sleep, my mind says, I know where is your right hand. So we have a reason, we have a valid argument, we have a valid reason. Why the valid reasoning and argument? To arrive at a knowledge, to know it. So that is why these 40 steps are there. So now, so inherent defect in the pleasure is the sixth step. So then we have the seventh step. What is the seventh step? The seventh step is how to intensify our journey. Now you see that if you combine, you sit and think, or sit and think, oh, this is what it is, what the master is saying. So every step is linked from the previous one. How to educate the mind for the self discovery. So the eighth step is all about that you have understood it clearly, that how to apply viveka and vairagya. How to apply. So now you see that if I am not able to separate my egoistic activities with from the natural activities of nitya and the naimitya karma, there is no way to go deeper. So in the second step, I have loosened that identification, and that I realize in the eighth step as a vairagya. I have done it in the second, third, and the fourth step. But now there is a clarity. So when there is a clarity, the world is life is a play and fun. Today I will get profit, tomorrow loss, today some pain, tomorrow pleasure, no issue. I am not affected by all those things. So I enter into what? Vairagya and Viveka. See that. So Viveka and Vairagya now comes to now the master says, seek company of the men of wisdom. So here he is hinting, just find the teacher who can give you little more knowledge of understanding the importance of the self discovery. Did you get it? Are you clear about it? Yes, I'm clear. Do you know that the real self is pure truth, awareness, permanent peace, wisdom, love? Yes, I know it. So, do you have any chance of sorrow, pain, suffering in your life? No, but I suffer. So, you see that? I start comparing my life. Why the hell I am suffering? Why I feel pain and sorrow? Only the master answers in the 10th step that is your mind firmly established in the real self. I will not be affected by snowstorm when I am living in my home, doors are closed and AC is on. So, what is that AC, home, etc., etc.? The previous nine steps. They are nine steps. So, again, I penetrate into Viveka and Vairagya. So, instead of getting affected by pain and the pleasure, and I say, let us live with the six inner treasures, Shat Sampatti, that we have covered in detail. So, when I live with the six treasure, there are no six enemies. Six enemies will not touch me because now I have six inner treasures. And in the 12th step, we have understood how to transform desire ridden works, how to use every opportunity, every problem in my life, huh, towards the self discovery. The business is going on as it is, the relationship outside is going on as it is, everything is as usual. But everything is settled. The mind is totally settled. Mind is totally settled now. Mind is fixed on the journey of real self. Many masters have their different approaches. One approach is the master asks you, do you love yourself? Yes, I love myself. Do you love yourself the most? Yes. Do you love others for the sake of yourself? Yes. So journey is easy. That is what the commitment is. What does it mean? Simple example. I like coffee. Therefore, I love drinking coffee. If I dislike coffee, I don't love coffee, drinking coffee. So, this is the nature of the mind. Clear? Now I have gone deeper. Real self. I like drinking coffee because I love myself. Honey, we should not say, but we should understand it inside. Honey, I know you love me. You have an attachment with me. I like you. Why I like you? Because I love myself. How come? Because you, honey, you love me, you like me, you give me happiness. That is why I love you. If honey hates you, how can you find happiness there? So it means, honey, I love you because you give me happiness. Clear? Honey, I like you because you give happiness. But on the other hand, I only like you because you give me happiness. The result is, the answer is because I love myself. I love myself, so I want that honey who likes me, who loves me. I don't hate myself. If I hate myself, then that honey outside is also hating me. That will not work. We love others for the sake of ourselves. Do I live into that awareness all the time? The transformation will take place. You simply are aware. You're not saying anything wrong, right to anyone, but you are aware. Coffee comes, I like it. Oh, because I love myself. Honey has come. Honey is very much attached to me. Huh? Always takes care of me. That is why That is why I love my honey, but no, that is not the reason. I love my honey because I love myself. How come? I love myself, that is my honey. That is why my honey is taking care of me. I have to simply remain aware of that. When you are aware of that, it's a great, you find a new level of awareness inside. What will happen? Then your mind will remain inside. It will never go out. Why? Because I love myself. So that loving yourself makes you a seeker. And what you are seeking, the same real self. What is the goal? The same real self. So other masters say understand the three words commitment, sincerity, and devotion. Take shelter in a master. We are understanding that. We'll come to the master little later. So, what is sincerity? Sincerity is a flame of desire in the heart. That is what the sincerity is. Flame of desire for the real self. It's a constantly burning. In early days, the time came when I used to lie down on the bed. My mind said, where is the real self? I woke up in the morning, where is the real self? Then the time came. I did not sleep sometime for couple of days, and I was only seeing and visualizing my master. You are everything, you are everything, you are there. Why? It happens. Take shelter in the master. Sincerity. Sincerity. So, sincerity comes when we are transparent to ourselves. What is transparent? Ego is gone. What happens when the ego is gone? I am open to the grace and the blessing from the master. So sincerity contains lot of stuff. Now come to the commitment. What is commitment? Commitment is needed to attain sincerity. So when I'm constantly working, thinking, practicing, that is commitment. But why I'm working constantly, daily, regularly? Because I have a deep aspiration, burning desire. So the both are linked, commitment and sincerity. But we can also explain that commitment is a regular, conscious self observation. I observe myself, removing errors of anxiety, duality, conflict within. And now I feel I can depend on the real self. That is also commitment. So, two things: sincerity, commitment, and then comes the love. That is why I explained before why we love ourselves. Love is not love. What is the real self? The love or devotion or dedication is the love for the real self. That is what the bhakti yoga is. That is where the bhakti yoga comes. So, that love or devotion means that you do not forget any time you maintain an awareness that you are a seeker, seeking real self, a kind of self giving in the absence of the ego. The 13th step now is going to be complete, taking a shelter in the master, because the master opens up these principles and helps you to go a little deeper. On the other side, many other masters says that we should not enter into sentimentalism. We should not become sentimental. We should not be sympathetic, but we should be empathetic. Empathy means that I'm taking care. You are suffering, so I'm taking care. Sympathy means the other is exploiting me. You see, I have a lot of problem. What should I do? So you are patting on the people's shoulder. No, no, everything will be all right. So they are exploiting you. Sentiments, sympathy, sentiments, no sentiments. So we change that sentiment because sentiments comes from the ego. Sentiments means indulgence. Indulgence is impulsive. It is instinctive, and it will cause lot of problem. So it happens with our near and the dear ones. My daughter, you are so good. And the daughter is not exploiting you. She does not know that she is exploiting you, but by the sympathy, she is pushing you to do what you should not be doing. Or anyone, honey, or relations, no, not interested in doing. Be very clear. No, you did not cry because I had lot of pain. What should I do? I didn't feel the pain. Why should I cry? But I have taken care of you. I will take care of you. Be very clear. So this is what the teacher, when you take a shelter in the teacher, or you take a shelter in the honey, who makes you sentimental. So that is why the master is saying that we need a teacher. Now coming let us go little deeper. Guru. So it is very clear to you now. What is the guru? Because you don't know your real self. That outside guru is representing your real guru, that real self. How simple it is. The entire journey is that who is the ultimate guru? Ultimate guru is the real self that is within you, and that is within the teacher. They both are the same. Because I don't know, so I see my real self in the form of a outer guru until I reach to that state. See that. So, after understanding all the 12 steps, 13 steps says take shelter under a guru. It means he is covering all the previous 12 steps. So, once you take a shelter in the guru, you are performing nitya and the naimitya karma. You are aware of binding and unbinding desire. Because you have taken a shelter in the guru, so you are offering all the activities to the existence. You know what is Viveka and Vairagya. You know what is discernment and dispassion. You know what about the six treasures. The mind is very clear. That mind is becoming ready for the journey. It does not mean you have not traveled. You have traveled too far. But the master says, milestone. First milestone. You don't know what is real self. So you don't know anything about this self discovery. Second milestone, you know a little bit. Third milestone, you know if I am the real self, then why I should be doing nitya and then amitya karma. So once you follow all the 12 steps, take shelter under a master. So what master does? He protects the seeker with those 12-fold discipline, 12-fold practices that we have just understood. Go a little deeper. What the teacher has to do? Teacher does nothing. Teacher really does nothing. What? Teacher does nothing. When you are inside your home, the home does nothing. Inside the home, there is already a calmness. Let there be a snowfall happening outside. So you enjoy that calmness and peace. You enjoy those treasures in the presence of a teacher. That is one meaning. Another meaning is more, my master used to say, teacher does nothing. The teacher's words, whatever he explains, does everything. What he speaks, that changes you. Teacher does nothing. Teacher has to do nothing. But whatever he speaks, that changes you. That changes you. So why to worry? The words, the speech, the talk of a guru will lead you to awakening. That is what my master used to. Why should I do anything? I don't do anything. Obviously, you see that is how not even an enlightened guru can help us. Even if that guru touches you either from the top of the head to the toes, it is the words, it is the principles. If they touch your mind and intellect, will change. understand in a different way. One master used to say, and I love that. He says that master eats agitation, anxiety, stress of a teacher, a stress of a student.
Yeah.
He swallows. So the moment he starts talking, he makes you understand. So I had a wonderful person I got just a couple of weeks before. What is his problem? Fear. He goes with his pet outside, but before he goes, his mind imagines that he will meet with an accident or his dog will meet with an accident. He is very well settled. He is a real estate builder. Last time, what happened? He started talking of the fear. So within 5 minutes, I changed the topic. I said, let us do 10-minute practice. And I extended that practice for 1 hour. And when he opened eyes, he said, now, I said, you have done 1 hour of practice. Did you have any fear during the 1 hour? No, I don't even think that, I have done for an hour. So I said, I have to play a trick with you to be fearless. So why don't you play a trick with your mind that you are always fearless? When you can do here and now with me, you can do all the time. So the teacher just kills your hesitation, anxiety, your ego. Did I tell you the story of a cub lion and a lion? It's a very famous story that we used to talk about. There was a lion. So there was a cub lion living with the cows, buffaloes. He was grown up there and he was acting and behaving like a buffalo. So when the lion used to chase all those buffaloes, that cub lion also used to run to save himself from the lion. So one day, lion said this, why the hell this cub lion? He belongs to my species. He should be fearless. Why he's running like a buffalo? Why you take shelter in the master? This is why you take a shelter. So one day the lion caught the cub lion. He pushed him to the river and asked him to see your face. He saw the face in the river. He looks like a lion. Looks like a lion. Now roar like me. So the lion roared and the cub lion also roared. Oh, I'm a lion. This is what the teacher does. We still consider we are buffaloes. We are already there. The real self is already within us. But we don't know. That is why, from the 15th step, we start listening and learning with that clarity in the mind. So you see that awakening needs only that much. The lion says, look into the river. That much is required. But the previous 14th step is all about preparation. And the 15th steps are all preparation. 16th and maybe six or five or six steps are the process. And the rest are how to live in the world, how to perfect everything in the world. That takes time. You won a lottery of $10 million, so it will take time to buy a house, to buy the most expensive car. You have to plan it. It will take time. So you already got it. So that is what is explained in the last few steps. Why that person, when you are awakened, what you have to do, what you have to do. So you see that gurus swallows, digest, they take your anxiety, wisdom, they take your anxiety, stress, and ego. And the second one is, do you want, are you a cub lion? Realize this. The moment you realize, you leave the company of a buffaloes. That means you leave the company of ignorance. You leave the company of ignorance. That is what is the journey. So yesterday, what happened? I was very much interested. He is the guy. He came again, and he joined it again, and he said, Osho says that there is no need of a guru. I said, I also agree. There is no problem. I agree 100%. You don't need any guru. So, do you agree with Osho? I said, yes. I asked him, do you agree with yourself or not? That is more important than whether you agree with the Osho or not, or whether you agree with me or not. Well, if you agree that there is no need, do you need any teacher to tell you where your house is? No, I don't need. Do you need any teacher to tell you which car you own? No, I don't need it. Do you know your real self the way you know the car and your home? No, I don't know. You need a teacher. So he says, that makes a sense. And I told him it is a common sense. The rest is nonsense. No, I'm not saying that it is nonsense, the rest is nonsense. So apply reasoning. Why? To filter out what is not required. What is the role of reason? To filter out what is not required. So you can stick on to what is required. You read one book and you read second book, you read third book, and all the three books confuses you. And then you come to me. Now he has been with me for the last 2.5 years. So I know, I said, I know this happens. This happens with everyone. This happened with me also. But now I realize why should not be like this. For all practical purposes, we find direct or indirect teacher. You get some stuff from Amazon. They send you details of the manual. That manual is your teacher, isn't it? How you buy an iPhone, you have a manual.
Yeah.
Manual is your teacher. And you say, I can know everything about my real self without a manual, without a teacher. It is not possible. It is not possible. So, so now see that. Did you?